The 15th of April 2025. As the day progressed, just like any other day to most, that was not the case in Midrand. The entire complex was shaken on the day. Not even one person could have suspected that the lavish complex was hiding one of the nation's most wanted fugitive. Although ordinary people did not think so, that was not the case when it came to the authorities. After tracking the fugitive for long, the authorities knew exactly where he was. And as they loaded their weapons, getting ready to confront the fugitive, the police knew that this was the moment to put an end to everything. Like every other lion, the fugitive started as a cub. He started his doings at an early age. With friends, a teenage Linder started with petty crimes. At a time when buying a gun was becoming more and more easy in KZN, the team graduated to guns. Unlike knives, guns gave them a sense of control. It was the manner in which the victims complied that made them fall in love with guns. After realizing that his success rate was much higher with a gun, Linder never looked back. With a gun in his hand, he felt unstoppable. He managed to evade the police until in July 2020. While the police were patrolling the St. Wendelins area, at a time when the nation was locked, they saw Linder in one of the streets. Upon searching him, the authorities got an unlicensed firearm and ammunition. He was arrested. This was reckless from the cub. Police were vigilant during the pandemic, with movement restricted. Being in the streets with a gun was not a smart move. At the station, the police had to run ballistics tests on the firearm. This was a slow process, and with the results taking long, Linder was released, pending the results of ballistic tests. The brief stint inside the cells was horrible, and he told himself that he will never see himself arrested again. With this mindset, he didn't even bother to attend court, as per the schedule. After this, Linder went on a run. While on the run, the fugitive continued with his criminal activities. In fact, it got worse. After setting his eyes on local businessmen and taxi owners, the fugitive devised a plan. He began with sending some of his boys to harass and rob the businessmen and taxi owners. After this, he then went to them and offered them protection, but for a fee. The businesses did not have any choice but to comply. His hard-hearted nature earned him the name Putin. Putin did not give them a choice. It was either they comply, or they take the risk of being robbed. With the team, Putin began to dominate the area. Even on the run, the lion had established its territory. This was no longer a cub. While running his illegal operations, Putin managed to evade the law. Although he petrified businesses in Marianhill, he was not at the top of police priorities until on March 2025. On the day, Putin visited his lady. While at the home, in a cold blood attack, Putin allegedly shot his lady, together with her mother. Soon after, the police arrived at the scene and took statements that led to the discovery that Putin was behind the murder. Following this, the authorities pushed Putin up on their list of priorities. The authorities began talking to people in Marianhill, getting all the valuable information. Through the investigations, the authorities realized that Putin was no longer staying in KZN, but had moved to Joburg. With this info, the KZN police began working with the Joburg police. Together, they managed to track Putin to a complex in Midrand, following extensive intelligence gathering from community members. A plan was put in place, and they were ready to confront the lion. After being granted access into the complex, the authorities went straight to the apartment the fugitive stayed in. They knocked and identified themselves as the police, which did not go well with the people inside. Knowing that the police were waiting for them at the door, Putin and the other two suspects inside the apartment tried to escape. Through a window, they climbed onto the roof. But when he realized that the authorities had seen them, Putin surrendered. After 5 years on the run, it was finally over. The 15th of April 2025. While the day progressed just like any other day to most, that was not the case in Midrand. The arrest made headlines on major news channels. Following the arrest, people in Marianhill pleaded to the police that Putin must be put at a maximum prison. They are afraid that if he can get access to a cell phone inside prison, he will continue to petrify them, especially with the majority of his friends still outside. To this day, no one knows the motive behind the murders of his lady and her mother. All we know is that the lion was finally caged.